Alright, so we just got done watching Sailor Moon, as I'm sure you all know. Sailor Moon, Season 1, Episode
It
35.
says it in the title.
Memories return. Usagi and Mamoru's past. Mamoru.
Mamoru.
So this episode is a continuation of the last episode, in that, Tuxedo Mask has, he appears to have been murdered or severely injured by Zoizite.
Yeah, I definitely thought he was gone, but, in the Sailor universe, anything can happen.
Right.
I didn't,
So
I believe...
in the preamble, it's implied that he was severely injured and not killed.
And right at the beginning of the episode, all the sailors they're like, oh, Sailor Moon's the princess, Mamoru's Tuxedo Mask. Everyone's freaking out. They're like, oh my god, everything's coming together.
Her warm aura.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. So we discover right off the bat that Tuxedo Mask's real name is Endymion.
Yeah, and the princess, which Sailor Moon turned into, was Serenity.
Princess Serenity.
Yeah.
Which brought me back to one of my all-time favorite shows, Firefly.
Firefly.
Yeah, you ever watch Firefly?
Not really. I mean, that's a little bit after my time.
Yeah, but the plane that they're on in Firefly is called the Serenity, and the movie, the sequel that they made, is called Serenity. It's got a great theme song.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. But then
I don't know what came first though. Sailor Moon or Firefly.
I'd assume Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon's probably kind of the definitive, like, big landmark
television period
for television. Yeah.
All television.
Really stepped the game up. And anyway, let's see. The moon stick is like extra powerful because of Sailor Moon being the princess Serenity, which makes sense.
And it's got the silver crystal.
Yeah, Kunzite tries to, he's attacking, doing whatever, attacking.
What we forgot is that so Zoizite has this sort of final move, teleports Tuxedo Mask off into another land after sort of knocking Sailor Moon out.
Yeah.
And Sailor Moon deforms from her. I'm gonna bring this over here, man.
Okay. Yeah, and there's a lot of flashbacks kind of going on in here. A lot of flashbacks in this episode here, which I couldn't really keep up with that much. I mean, it was mostly just the Serenity, the Princess Serenity kind of.
All of the sailors are like reincarnations of these people from the moon that protected the Moon Princess, which is Sailor Moon's reincarnation.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of backstory in this episode. I think it'll make more sense as the show goes on.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
Queen Beryl banishes Zoizite in this episode.
Yeah, and Zoizite wishes to die beautifully.
Yeah.
What is this?
What is that?
What is this?
That looks kind of gross.
No, this episode is sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh, really? I wasn't.
We can talk more about this episode, but
the sponsors.
There
was a good violin jam when Zoizite was dying in the arms.
Yeah, Zoizite asks of Kunzite. They have sort of a male romance going on.
Yeah, kind of like
very progressive, incredibly powerful.
Yeah, progressive for its time at least. And when Zoizite's dying, there's a beautiful violin kind of solo thing that I really loved.
Yeah. So the same thing that's happening to Earth right now happened to the moon, essentially, is what we've learned.
Yeah, and the sailors are reincarnations of what happened on the moon, and they have to bring peace to the world.
So Zoizite dies in Kunzite's arms, and his final request is, "I want to die beautifully," and he creates this sort of mirage of flowers, and this beautiful violin piece plays as he fades into the abyss of death. Okay, so another thing is Sailor Moon basically breaks down and says she doesn't want to fight anymore, and Ray, Sailor Mars, this beverage is a Sailor Mars. I'll give you the recipe later.
What'd you give the recipe? You're drinking it.
Okay, she slaps her and calls her a coward repeatedly.
Oh yeah.
Which was really awesome. I love that. Was a great character part. And okay, all the sailors. Kunzite is like, okay, I'm taking out all the sailors. One by one, all the sailors try to fight him first, while Sailor Moon's sitting there saying, "I'm not going to fight anymore." And basically, they all pass out, get knocked out, and then sort of channel their energy into Sailor Moon, and Sailor Moon takes out Kunzite, or sort of takes him out. He gives up on them. Yeah, and it reestablishes the theme of togetherness. She finds that in saving her sailor compadres, she is reawakened her desire to work with.
Yeah, I mean she kind of Usagi kind of like panicked under all the pressure
Yeah.
in this episode, and that's when she
So we refer
got
to this
slapped and
this
was called
grand
a coward.
evil as the evil will.
The evil will, and the evil will is ruler of the evil king or the Dark Kingdom,
Mhm.
and which we figured out, and
Silver Millennium. Did you mention
and
that? Silver Millennium's the name of where Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah.
Tuxedo Mask was also the king, I suppose. Of
yeah,
or
yeah,
the
or just like the
prince.
strongest, or and they need the silver crystal. Obviously, it comes back to the silver crystal to really make peace. Like peace will
Yeah.
not come without the silver crystal.
Kunzite is a total savage.
He's a savage.
Because he loves very clearly
Crazy
loves
guy.
Zoisite. He was still willing to take out Zoisite
Oh, yeah.
at the orders of his queen.
Orders of the Queen. I mean, Queen Beryl. She's still at the top. You got to listen to her. And then there's a lot of Sailor Mercury doing like a lot of computer it kind of felt like a
Yeah,
heist movie. She's in the van. She's like
she had
calculating doing all the
the
coordinates to all the what was some
dimensional access. She
Yeah.
refers to and the second and third dimension and
Neo,
all this stuff.
all this
Crazy
those kind of
science
words.
fiction
Science
stuff,
fiction.
Star Trek stuff.
I couldn't keep up with it. Man.
I actually didn't like this episode that much. I find that the expansion of this universe to be a little bit disenchanting. But,
yeah, it was.
But I
pretty,
think it will allow for once the story sort of falls back to its
exactly
roots to be
I agree with
grander,
that.
which is exciting.
Yeah, but it was definitely like a bleep blop, very science fiction-y type episodes. Very science fiction.
And this was all about backstory. This episode,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So learning about the Silver Millennium is essentially the Dark Kingdom of the good guys,
Yeah.
right? And the sort of it was interesting, but it was a little frustrating in some ways. So this drink here. It's the Sailor Mars.
Yeah.
So it's tomato juice, sriracha, celery, onion salt, Smirnoff vodka. What else?
Sounds tasty. Yeah.
I got pickles in here, pickle juice.
Pickle juice, yeah.
Yeah. A Worcestershire sauce, and some other stuff. So I put sriracha instead of Tabasco and stuff because I know that Sailor Mars would like it spicy.
Yeah, I mean
really
it's
spicy.
spicy. And
she works at a shrine. And I figured that they have a lot of mason jars lying around.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where this.
Sriracha just has more consistency to it. I like it.
Oh, it's a great spice.
And then at the end of the episode, there's a pretty intense battle, like quick. Intense battle between Sailor Moon and Kunzite.
And Kunzite's got these
going full energy
Namekian sort of powers and stuff.
Yeah. And,
I think that's about it. So this episode basically ends where like they're in it for the Grand Hall, knowing their backstory now, essentially. So they know that they are fighting to make sure that this doesn't happen to the Earth, and that they really have no choice but to fill out the will of the moon of the Silver Millennial, or whatever. I think that's all we got to say about this one.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.